part 1 of the IELTS speaking test, you're asked about 12 general questions. These questions will be about yourself, for example, your hometown, your favorite holiday destination, what books or films you like, your family, your neighbors, and so on. To get a high band, you need to be careful with your grammar. So listen carefully to the questions and pay special attention to the verb tenses that the examiner uses. You can answer using the same tense, or you might prefer to use a different tense. Let's look at both options. Using the same tense. Let's imagine the examiner asks you, what type of activities do you do in your spare time? The present simple, do you do, is used in this question. We use the present simple when we talk about a regular repeated activity in the present. So you can begin your answer with the same tense, like this.
Well, I regularly play tennis in the summer. I don't really have much spare time, but when I do, I like to play tennis.
Another question you might hear is, what are you studying? Here, the present continuous is used. We use the present continuous when we talk about an activity that is taking place around the present time, but not necessarily right at this present moment. In this case, you can begin your answer in this way.
Right now, I'm studying psychology.
Using a different tense. You don't have to begin your answers using the same tense as in the question. If you are confident enough, you can try to use a more complex tense or structure, especially if you are aiming for a very high band. Watch this example.
No, I've never met them personally, but my brother has chatted to them a few times.
Did you notice how the examiner used the present simple, but the candidate began her answer with the present perfect simple? We use the present perfect simple to talk about our general experiences, things that we have done in the past without saying when we did them. The present perfect is considered to be a more complex structure, and it is typically used correctly by candidates who deserve a high band. Now watch this example.
Well, I would if I had the time. Unfortunately, I'm just too busy.
This time the examiner uses the present simple, but the candidate begins the answer with a second conditional structure. We often use the second conditional to talk about a hypothetical or imagined situation in the present or future. Again, this is a more complex structure and would typically be used by a candidate who deserves a high band.